Inappropriate.
Can I give that to you? Because I think it's
The other
sorry.
pattern I put into this one is a simple stockinette raglan. If you are a person that has ever wanted to just be able to knit in front of the TV and then not have to look at it, that is this one. So a raglan is also a top-down construction. It's totally seamless. The one thing that I will notice is that if you are making yokes, which also this is in the book, if you're making yokes or if you're making raglans, because they don't have as structurally sound because they don't have seams, I highly suggest, even though I literally made this one with acrylic, go towards a wool blend, because what will usually end up happening is that if you don't know wool, it has like essentially like, has anyone ever watched those Pantene Pro V commercials? Oh, yes. And all of a sudden it like shows like the hair follicle and it like kind of comes out. That's really, really similar when it comes to yarn, like they all have scales. And what ends up happening especially for yokes and raglans, is that those scales have a tendency to interlock, kind of like shields that are constantly there. You know what I'm talking about. And this will actually help the structure of your piece stay better versus using like a bamboo, etc. Just because it doesn't have as much structure to it. Wool has a lot of elasticity, and it will also help you when you're making your top-down raglans and your yokes stay intact more often. This one also has, oh my god, short row shaping. Has anyone never used short row shaping? Do you want me to explain short row shaping?
Yes, please.
Okay. So naturally when we have a neck, your neck protrudes more out than it does in the back. So especially when we have things that are like raglans and that are like yokes, where usually the stitch count is the same on the front and the back, what can happen is that you can get your collar to ride up. If you've ever made a sweater where you're like, this is irritating me and I want to just pull it down, or if you are a person who has a larger bust and you've ever noticed that your bust, by the protrusion of it, literally lifts up the hem of your sweater and your hem doesn't completely land even, the way to be able to solve it is through short row shaping. And essentially what short row shaping is that it is a wedge of fabric that you specifically put in the nape of your neck or at the very back before you do, if you can see those little notches, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what it does is that it shifts the back up, the front down, which then lowers the actual neckline, but it also lowers the hem on the front. It's wild to think that literally an inch worth of fabric in the back can make such a dramatic difference. But short row shaping is so helpful, especially for anyone who has a bigger bust. It makes them fit way better, and it makes that hem lie. And also, if anyone goes, I don't understand how many short rows to add into it, to explain short rows, if I literally start in the back of my nape of my neck, and I work all the way around, and you're accustomed to knitting in the round, you essentially work flat for a certain portion, going a little bit farther, a little bit farther, a little bit farther, a little bit farther, and it creates that wedge. Again, when you see this one, you can see those dots go tick, 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 here.
Yeah.
It adds that additional one to shift it up in the back. And if you are ever trying to figure out how many short rows you should be adding, it's actually based off of your shoulder slope. So if you find that you are a very narrow shoulder, or essentially your neck goes and protrudes out, it's the difference between the top of your neck, like kind of here, and your shoulder drop. So if you